Hey Vikings fans, can you feel it? The countdown is real. We are just 30 days away from the moment the Minnesota Vikings are officially on the clock, and trust me, this draft could define the future of this franchise in a massive way. But here's the big question that's driving everyone crazy right now. Are the Vikings about to find the next Harrison Smith? Or shock the entire NFL with a bold move nobody sees coming? Because right now, the noise is getting louder. Mock drafts are exploding everywhere. Analysts are throwing out wild predictions, and there's one name that just keeps coming back again. And again. And again. But is that really the move? Or are we all falling into the same trap? Let me tell you this, what I'm about to break down might completely change how you see this draft. And by the end of this video, I want to know your pick at 18. So stay with me, because things are about to get very interesting. The Minnesota Vikings are heading into this draft with more questions than answers, and it all starts with one massive uncertainty: the future of Harrison Smith. If the future Hall of Famer decides to step away, we're not just losing a player, we're losing the identity of the secondary. And that's exactly why safety has become the hottest topic in every single draft discussion. The Vikings' defense under Brian Flores thrives on versatility, disguise, and chaos. And without a centerpiece like Smith, that system could take a serious hit. But here's where it gets fascinating. While safety is the obvious need, the Vikings are not a one-dimensional team. There are holes across the roster: defensive line, cornerback, even offensive playmakers, which means this front office has options. And that's where things get unpredictable. Now let's talk about the name that is absolutely dominating the conversation right now: Dylan Thieneman. If you've been following the mock drafts, you already know. This guy is basically being handed to the Vikings at pick 18 in almost every projection. And I mean almost every projection. We're talking about a player who showed elite athleticism at the combine, running a blazing 4.35 in the 40-yard dash, with insane explosiveness numbers that turned heads across the league. But it's not just the numbers. Thieneman is the kind of player that fits perfectly into Flores' system. He can play deep, he can come into the box, he can cover the slot. He's basically a defensive chess piece. And that's exactly what this defense is built on. Still, let me ask you something. Are we getting too comfortable with this pick? Because history shows us that when everyone agrees on a draft pick, something usually goes wrong. The NFL draft is unpredictable, chaotic, and sometimes downright insane. And while Thieneman looks like the perfect fit, there are other names quietly gaining momentum behind the scenes. Players that could completely flip the script if they fall into Minnesota's range. One of those names is Caleb Downs. Now this would be a shocker. A top-tier safety talent who many believed would never even be available outside the top 10. If he somehow slips, the Vikings would be crazy not to consider him. We're talking about a back-to-back All-American, a true game-changer, and a player who could step into that defense and make an immediate impact. But again, it all depends on how the board falls. And that's the beauty and the frustration of the draft. Then there's another intriguing possibility: going after a cornerback like Mansour Delane or Avion Terrell. The Vikings secondary showed flashes last season, but consistency was a major issue. Adding a lockdown corner could completely transform how this defense operates. Imagine giving Brian Flores a true CB1. Someone he can trust in man coverage while he dials up pressure from everywhere else. That kind of move might not be as flashy as replacing Harrison Smith, but it could be just as impactful. And don't sleep on the trenches either. There are strong arguments for adding a dominant defensive tackle like Caden McDonald or a versatile edge like TJ Parker. This team has already shown a commitment to building through the trenches, and continuing that strategy could pay off big time. Sometimes the smartest move isn't the most exciting one. It's the one that wins games in January. But now, let's talk about the scenario that could completely blow everything up: a trade. There are real discussions about the Vikings potentially moving up, or even trading back to accumulate more picks. And one of the craziest ideas floating around? Trading up to grab a dynamic running back like Jeremiah Love. Now I know what you're thinking: a running back? In the first round? But this isn't just any running back. This is a home run hitter. A game-breaking weapon that could completely change the offense. And in a system that thrives on explosive plays, that kind of addition could be lethal. At the end of the day, Vikings fans, here's the truth. There is no clear answer. Yes, Dylan Thieneman is the favorite. Yes, safety makes the most sense. But the draft is not about what's obvious. It's about what's available. And right now, the Minnesota Vikings are in a position where they could go in multiple directions and still come out looking like winners. That's what makes this so exciting and so nerve-wracking at the same time. So now I've got to ask you, if you were in charge, what would you do? Do you take the safe route and grab Thieneman? Do you gamble on a falling superstar like Caleb Downs? Do you reinforce the trenches? Or do you shock the world with a bold trade? Drop your take in the comments right now. I'm reading everything. And if you're as hyped as I am for this draft, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with every Vikings fan you know. Because things are heating up fast. And trust me, this is just the beginning. SKOL.